It's the weekly breakdown.
Hi.
Number 153. What's up?
Yes.
Boy.
Yes, same old, really.
Yeah. Same song and dance.
For the most part.
I'm glad it's the fucking weekend.
Yeah.
This week was one of those weeks where you have 40 hours, like halfway through Wednesday, and you're like, yeah. Keeps on going. But I'm glad it's the weekend. There's some fucking, not a whole lot of things to talk about, but there's a big video game that's out finally. It's
a little indie game. You probably haven't heard of it.
Yeah.
Dog of War.
Yeah. We're going to talk about some Overwatch and some Black Ops 4 rumors. Also, there's some interesting things going on in the music space, but I think first we should talk about God of War. God of War is finally out on PlayStation 4 after a few years wait, and also the longest fucking embargo of all time. What felt like it. Just in terms of wait, it was just like, wow. I think reviews came out well over a week ago for this game, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But it's just like, damn, it just makes you want to play it that much more. I've played about 4 hours. You've played 2 or 3. Right?
I mean, depending on, I told you where I was at, so however long you think I'm far behind you.
I mean, you're maybe
like an hour behind you.
Half an hour to an hour behind.
Okay.
Me. And then you've played it shitload.
Like 15, 16 hours about.
Yeah. So yeah, let's have a chat about God of War. What do you think? What do you guys like? What don't you like? Do you like it?
There's a lot that I like about the game.
Like?
But, and that's a hard but. I'm not going to say there's a lot that I don't like about the game, because that's not the truth. There are a couple things that I don't like about the game. The only issue is that the game relies on those things a lot. Like, I see those things in the game a lot. There's a lot of repetition in this game. It's an issue if you're not that big on some of the things, or if you don't have, like, not patience, but, like, if you're a person that can do things like the same thing a lot, then I'm sure you'll be fine. But if it's like, if eventually things like start to wear on you and you start to notice it more, and that's the kind of thing that will bother you, it's like with some things that I've noticed in the game, like it starts to really bother me, and it's to the point where it kind of takes away from the experience a little bit.
What are those things? Without spoilers.
Are they spoiler things or are they mechanic things?
Okay, I'll start like a really small thing. Like kill animations are all, for like trolls, they're all the fucking same. Every different type of enemy, you're never going to get like a variety of kill animations.
True.
For Draugr, it's always going to be the same. For trolls, it's always going to be the same. For ogres in the game. Ogres, it's always going to be the same. But like, that's a small thing that I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's the same thing every time. Another thing is, a big thing that this game suffers from, for me, is kind of like AAA syndrome, where they need to do, like, I feel like certain games feel the need to do some things when they don't. They could think outside of the box more, but it's almost like, this is a AAA game, we need to have this, we need to have that. It's like, for as much as God of War is kind of improved, I played 2 and like a little bit of 3, and I don't think I played all of 2, but I wasn't that crazy about like the first 3 God of War. I didn't play the first one, but I wasn't that crazy about it. Like, they were fun. They were a little like cartoony. I don't know. I just never really got it into them at the time of playing them. But at least like going back and watching things on YouTube and reading the plots of all the games to kind of get set up, because I don't think I'm probably not going to go back and play them. But just to get myself set up for this game and watching stuff, I mean, there have been a lot of improvements made for this God of War. I like the camera angle. I think is awesome.
Yeah.
There are certain, like, I really love the axe. Sometimes combat is really awesome. Sometimes it's challenging and frustrating. I'll say that. I'm not going to like knock the game for that, but it's just challenging and frustrating. One thing that I don't really care for, it's one of those weird video game things where, like, in the game, you're a god, right? You're Kratos. But then you're fighting like a Draugr or something, and it's like going through an animation, an attack animation, and you're like hitting the shit out of it, but it'll still go through and hit you, and you kind of stun lock you, and then another one will come up and they keep hitting you and stuff. Like, you can't knock them out of their attack animations, but they can knock you out of your attack animation. Sometimes it just feels a little uneven. I don't know. It's a little confusing to me how sometimes, like, you're this god and I could be kicking someone's ass, and then it's like certain things like that. Stun locking, I had to turn off motion blur because we just talked about Far Cry 5. I hate motion blur. Some things, for as much as this game has like come into the modern day, sometimes in some ways it feels like a nice throwback, and in other ways it just feels like a bit of a dinosaur. Like, we've moved on from certain things in games for a reason, in my opinion. But then to kind of go back to some of those things, I don't know. But there are some small issues of like doing the same things over and over and feel like you're running into similar situations. I don't want to like spoil anything. I don't really want to say anything about the game, even if it's something that's not a spoiler. But just, I feel like I'm running into a lot of the same situations over and over again. But on the bright side, when the game is fun, when you're getting story, it's amazing. It can be really, really fucking slow sometimes, in my opinion. Like, really fucking slow.
The very beginning of this game is very slow. I loved it, but I was like, man.
The first, like, third of it. Even, like, halfway into the game. I feel like I'm about halfway into the game. They said the game was going to be, like, 25 to 30 hours.
Yeah.
I'm around 15 to 16. I feel like I'm about halfway through. And I've skipped a lot of... I kind of, like, factor in, like, getting every chest and going and doing that stuff is like the 25 to 30 hours. I'm at the point where, like, fuck that. I just want to play the story because I'm kind of running out of patience. Like, I just want stuff to happen. And a lot of it is just like running into a room and there's combat. Like, oh, I bet a bunch of guys are going to jump out here. And then a bunch of guys jump out. And then there's a combat sequence that just takes a little longer than it should sometimes. And then you're like walking onto the next area. And then it's just slow stuff where it doesn't hit you with a great deal of story that really keeps you, like, going sometimes. Like, there's a little bit of a nugget here and there where it's like, okay, that part was really good. There's a part where you're going up the mountain and something happens. I'll say that. Something big happens. Mm-hmm. And it's fucking awesome. And I was like, oh my god, this is one of the coolest things of the year in video games. This is fucking amazing. And I'm like, okay, after that, it's like, alright, then we're going up the mountain a little bit more. I'm like, okay, I'm fucking bored again. I've run into the same combat stuff. Like, I want more. I want to hit you with more. It's a little too spread out. And I think I can get kind of slow. And then all the stuff in there is just, it makes it feel too long. It makes it feel too repetitive sometimes. But when it hits you with the really good stuff, it's really good. But that's kind of how I feel about it. Like, it's not overly negative. My feeling for the game isn't overly negative. I still enjoy it. It's just there's some stuff in there that kind of pisses me off. It's just a shame that the stuff that pisses me off is the game relies on it a little too much, I think. But for someone that would really like that, they'll love the game. Mm-hmm. But honestly, like, I went into this game reading I didn't read the reviews, but just seeing that this game was getting 10 out of 10s and 9.5s out of 10s, I wasn't expecting the world of this game. If anything, it just made me feel more relaxed, more at ease, because, like, I still have, like, Mass Effect Andromeda flashbacks of, like, this game can't be bad, and then it's fucking bad. And, like, Battlefront 2, oh, we learned from our mistakes, and, like, it's fucking bad.
We made new ones.
Yeah, it puts me at ease to just, okay, this game is good. Like, it's good, there's no bullshit. I can go in more innocently and just enjoy it. And I went in that way. I wasn't going in like, oh, it's going to do this and this, and kind of like putting it up there in my mind. I just wanted to play it. But there's some stuff that just feels a little ancient in this game. That would be like that witty fucking review title, where something to twist that into like a game. Who knew a game and like based in ancient Scandinavia would feel so ancient? That'd be like the review title, or whatever that quip. You know, that every review has.
The little headline that pops up. It's like an excerpt. Yeah.
But it's a really fucking cool game. It's surprisingly, they got a lot of Norse mythology right. Like, they took their liberties with it, but, like, as you would. Because I know, like, in Greek mythology it didn't work out all like that, but they're pretty fucking accurate with a lot of things, and it's really cool. I love the mythology. They're treating the Aesir like assholes, like Odin and Thor. They're making them out to be like these fucking pricks. But I'm like, all right, I'll see where you go with that. Thor's like the, he's a protector of mankind, man. Yeah, I haven't seen him yet.
You haven't seen him yet?
No.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the game like a lot. I mean, again, I'm only about maybe 3 or 4 hours in, but I kind of said this earlier. I see a similar franchise progression as like Gears of War. You have the first 3 games, which are all classics, and then they do a prequel, and the prequel kind of sucks, and then they remake one of the better games. Now they do a game where they kind of redo the tone and kind of make it a whole new thing. You can also maybe throw. It doesn't work out as nicely because like both God of War and Gears of War are very overly macho games, and which this game still is to an extent. But like I think you can maybe throw also. It doesn't work out as perfectly, but like Halo or Uncharted in there, where it's like you have like the original trilogy, and then they kind of they kind of reinvent themselves.
This game is very Naughty Dog feeling.
I was gonna say like especially having like Atreus running around, and like I look at that and I'm like.
He's a fucking cunt. He's a fucking cunt. He gets to be a real cunt in the game. You'll see later. But he gets to be a real cunt. There's a part in the game where I wanted to kick him the fuck off wherever we were. I don't remember if we were on a mountain or wherever. I wanted to kick him into some fucking lava. I don't even think there was lava. I haven't seen lava yet, but I wanted to fucking, like... He pisses you off partway into the game. I'm fucking fed up with him. Seriously.
Okay, I haven't gotten that far.
Fuck him.
I haven't gotten that far. I like this, at least at this point. I will say at this point, I like the slight, like, bit of, like, sass or attitude he has. Like, when you first go out to hunt, and you just decide, okay, I'm going to go look to see if I can find, like, a chest or something. He goes, hey, the deer went this way. All right, I guess we'll go this way, I guess. And I'm just like, all right, that's...
Yeah, smarmy little fuck.
But I like being able to control him and tell him, like, who to attack. I think that's, like, really good.
The combat is pretty cool that way. Yeah, I like that.
And I like the combat does remind me a bit of, like a similar like Origins, at least from what I remember, because it's been a little while since I played Origins, like R1 and L2 for the attacks and the blocks and whatnot. But I like throwing the axe. Throwing the axe is fun.
Yes.
And pulling it back is great.
It's really cool.
It's nice to kind of coordinate things. Like, all right, I got 2 guys. Okay, big guy, you're gonna be frozen for a bit while I just beat the shit out of this other guy until I stun him, and then I can do the one or two animations that you get for ripping a dude apart. And then pull the axe back, and it'll take a little bit of damage. And I like that. And the game is a bit challenging. Like I ran into a dude kind of early in the game where like I think you climb up to a gap and you kind of see where you're supposed to go through a window with Atreus, and then you're supposed to jump across the gap. But I noticed you can go all the way down to the bottom of this cavern. I'm like, there's a chest, and then like I'm like level still like really early level. There's like a level 3 dude there, and I'm like I'm like. So I had to use like the rage of Sparta or whatever to like knock out 3/4 of his health, and then he still 2-hit me. He still fucking 2 hits you. I'm like, fuck. So you gotta dodge because some of his attacks you can't block. I'm just like, fuck. But yeah, I'm enjoying everything. There's a lot of moments like early on that I really like. I mean, it's not too much of a spoiler because I mean it's the first second of the game where like you're kind of with you're burning the body of, I guess, Kratos' wife or whatever she is. It's Atreus. How do you pronounce his name?
Atreus.
Like
Atreyu.
Okay.
But Atreus.
Atreus. Like, like burning his mom, but it's like, and he like says something like, "You're free now," and I'm like, that's like probably the closest at this point you're gonna get to Kratos being like sentimental. I'm like, that's still great for his character. Like, I'm like, cool, and there's like a lot of cool moments like that. He doesn't actually call his son by his name for most much of it. Boy.
That's what it should be called. God of Boy.
God of Boy.
Yeah. I think this game is just fucking incredible. To me, I think some of the changes that they've made from someone who's played every God of War game are just so fucking smart. Like, to me, being able to control your camera now is just amazing. You can
still get a sense of scope, like even though the camera doesn't do the fun thing where it would pull back and it's like, where the fuck am I? You still get like a nice sense of scope.
And to me, just how they've kind of reinvented Kratos as a character, and he's not like Calliope, like I'm gonna rip your fucking face off. But he's still like he at one point very early in the game he talks about like anger and how you control it or whatever, and it's just like he has that sort of anger in him. It's just more controlled, and I think that's great. I think just the dynamic between him and Atreus so far it's really good, and there's some very just powerful moments. I think in terms of animation and storytelling and all that stuff. I mean, this game's up there is one of the best I think I've ever seen. And I think one understated thing about this game that people just aren't talking about too much, I think the soundtrack's just fucking killer.
I really like soundtracks.
It really adds to the moments a lot of times. God of War's always had great soundtracks, but this one's just, I think, the best one that they've had. And there's a lot of just really great, kind of more touching, softer moments where they just really add to it with music. But then there's big, loud sort of sequences where the music's really, really glaring. And I really, really think that's very well done as well. And, dude, I don't know how many games are going to do it, but this whole like one cut sort of thing, I don't know. I really think it's fucking neat because it doesn't suck you out with these like weird camera angles or whatever. It's just like, here it is, and then the camera will just swing back or it'll swing over here. It's just like, I don't know how the hell they got it to work,
like it's some creative camera work
really
to just kind of keep it and be like, so you can see the different things. And
there's a lot of thought that had to have went into that. I read interviews of like Cory Barlog, the director. He wanted to obviously do this on Tomb Raider, the reboot, but he got a lot of pushback, and he still got a ton of pushback originally from Sony Santa Monica about doing this. It's just like, there's no fucking way this is going to work. But then he said the more they got it to work, the team really got on board with it and went like, wow, this is actually really fucking special. It really adds to just keeping you into the game.
I didn't know he worked on the 2013 Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Imagine if that was like that game.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
Man, that'd be super cool. I mean, granted, that game's a bit more pulled back, so maybe it might not have worked as well. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's super cool.
Yeah, but it is good, and I think because God of War's story, I always enjoyed it, but I could totally see why it wasn't someone's cup of tea. But the story was always like fucking way out here, and now they brought it in to be here, and I think they're really crafting something really great throughout, and also just some of the fucking environments are just, the amount of fucking time and detail in these environments is just stunning. It's like, man, how long did it take someone to just do this one little spot? It's a beautiful fucking game, and they've added like color and life to God of War that just wasn't there before.
It was just a very gray and just
dark, violent game. And
I almost, even though it was a little more colorful than this, it's almost like a Zack Snyder type dark kind of thing with the first, especially 3, which is the one that's in my recent memory, because I played that last year or the year before, I forget which.
Yeah, I do really like the combat though, and I like its challenge. I just like how many options you have of like throwing an axe or telling Atreus to do this or these attacks or these runes and doing this and that. And I think they honestly might have changed it for the better, in my opinion, for God of War's combat. I really fucking enjoy it. It is challenging. I do see where you're coming from. There's a few battles that I was in where I'm like, this is like one sequence of enemies too long.
Yeah.
Where they could have cut it off and it would have been totally fine.
Yeah.
And also, maybe it's not a problem later on, because I think I'm getting to a point where the game's opening up a little bit more. But like, you get experience by completing certain like quests, I guess, or favors, and finding things, killing enemies. I feel like there's a shitload of skills that I want to get, and I'm not getting experience quick enough to get any of them. Really,
you'll get more.
Okay, that's what I figured, because I'm like, fuck, these are all like 1,000 points apiece, and I'm like, dude, I just
15,
got to 500 to get this one. Like, it's taking forever just to get to this point. So I figured it would probably get better, but so far in the beginning, that's a little slow. But also, there's and it's something that God of War didn't really have. Is like, so far I've ran into 2 side characters that I found to just be really cool. The blue dwarf dude. Yeah. I really like him.
He's cool.
He's funny. He added this totally new element to
he's funny, but it doesn't take away from like the world.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Definitely. And there's this other character I ran into that I'm like, wow, like God of War really hasn't had side characters too much. It's always been Kratos and the gods, and that's fucking it.
And maybe like Pandora.
Maybe.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Like, there wasn't a whole lot of that. It was very straightforward. But I feel like these characters are very, very memorable. And I like that. I just... There is a lot of Naughty Dog influence in this game, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, those I think those games are special. They create very memorable moments all the time. And I think this is going to be no different. And... We'll see, but I think I could totally see when all is said and done that this is definitely like the best God of War game, for sure. Because I just think the changes they've made are just so smart. There's no other direction God of War could have went but this. Like, if they would have done another God of War, like 3-year Ascension or whatever, it would have been like whatever. It would not have done well. Would not have gotten people excited like this one. But to me, the reinvention here is just. It's a Breath of the Wild level of amazing. And I was thinking about it too. I'm like, this game's really good. And it's not that I feel it's totally changing the game and doing a lot of revolutionary shit. It's just I feel it's doing so much stuff so much better than almost anybody has ever had at certain points to me. And that's what I think's great about it. It's just like the bar in the production is like fucking way up here to produce something like that. This game was in development for a long fucking time, so I like it. Certainly do.
I have more thoughts once I mean. Yeah, once I play a bit more.
There's more that I want to say because right now I just feel like I'm complaining. Like, oh well, there's this part and it's just kind of it's repetitive, but like. I don't want to say shit until you guys get to it. Even if it's not spoiling, I just want you guys to like play the game, you know?
Yeah, fair enough.
When we all beat the game, there's a lot of stuff that I like want to bitch about the game. The stuff that really bothers me, like overall right now, I would say like this game's probably sitting at like an 8.5 right now for me. I'm assuming the second half of the game, a lot of shit's gonna go down. It's God of War, big stuff's gonna happen. So I still think it probably could be bumped up to that 9.5, where it's like that's kind of what happened with Uncharted Lost Legacy, where it's like the ball got rolling and I'm like, yeah, fuck this, and I was like jerking off by the end of it. But like I'm hoping that would happen with God of War. It's just like I gotta be honest.
Good, sorry.
Like some of the stuff is just it's so slow. It's so hard to get momentum going in this game sometimes. Like you said, like some of the sequences are like just like a one wave of enemies too long, and there's this one part that you get to where I was like I just want to get out of this fucking place. Like not like it was awesome to begin with. I'm like, all right, I'm ready for this. I'm gonna like lore and shit and the Norse mythology, and this is awesome to see this representation. And then I'm just like, can I just get the fuck out of here? And then every time I'm like, oh my fucking god, more enemies. More enemies. And it especially at the beginning of the game, because you are so limited in like your attacks and skills and stuff, where it just feels like you're doing the same attack in a battle, and that can kind of get old. But then when you start to do more stuff, like the enemies do get tougher. And like you were saying, like you like throw your axe at someone, you're like, I'm gonna freeze that asshole. And
sometimes I've already counted. It's like sometimes it just don't work.
Yeah, like sometimes it's like you need to think of like new ways to do stuff, but it just becomes all more challenging. But it's in a good way, I think. It's good, and it's really frustrating sometimes. And the other thing that I would say about this game is that this kind of games in general, is that when you get into a room and you have to like look for something, that's not a puzzle to me. Like going on a scavenger hunt is not a puzzle. A puzzle is like, how do I work this out, and I have to move this around here, and I have to do this, and like there are some puzzles in the game which are really cool, but then going into a room and like just looking for something isn't like a puzzle to me. Like sometimes I really get bogged down. Like this honestly happened to me with The Last of Us. There were a couple parts where like the first time I played through it, I'm like, you just have to go over to some place and press a button. But like I'm looking around and I'm like, well, how the fuck do I get out of this area? Or like, what the fuck do I do? There are some of those parts in this game that just kind of frustrate me a little bit, but that's not like a huge knock against the game.
I had this one thought, and I'm semi-serious when I say this. I hope that, even if it's just for one sequence, just because it would be so God of War, like, if there was something that was more akin to old school, in like one of those, maybe not to the same scope, but like somehow something where it's like, you know, fighting Kronos or something. Like for like one thing, you know, with the whole camera thing, like for a bit, like it pulls back. I just think it could be, I don't know, just for, and it doesn't have to be only like once, like, you know what I mean, just to keep that sort of scope. You have this look on your face. Is that you have this look on your face?
Could happen.
So,
do you think some of these issues are standing out to you more just because of how much you've played it in such a short amount of time?
Probably.
Because sometimes that can happen.
Honestly, because if I played it for like an hour a day, I'm sure I'd still notice these things.
Mm-hmm. It just won't feel as egregious.
I played it a lot yesterday, and it was just like section after section of kind of seeing these same things. I think they're more noticeable. I think the thing was, it's like, otherwise,
because
that
happens to me. Like I remember there's certain parts of like Uncharted 4 where it's just like,
that's the one thing I was
keeps going on and on. But I played that game in like 2 sittings.
So
they stuck out and they annoyed me more. Of like, I want to get through this, but maybe if I,
I'm kind of the same boat. Like, I did fucking play Uncharted in 1 fucking sitting, which is stupid of me. And there were things that were really pissing me off. And at a certain point, I'm like, why is it that every time Nathan Drake goes somewhere, the bad guys just happen to always follow him? Like, how come not once does he ever cover his tracks, or like he gets a clue to something and then the bad guys show up and they take that clue, and it's like, dude, cover your fucking tracks for once. Like, close like one door, and then you can fucking, but. Like, I did notice that shit too, and then Uncharted 4 was still really this awesome game by the end of it. Mm-hmm. I'm feeling like God of War would be this really awesome, like, when all's said and done, I'll be like, bullshit aside,
it was worth it.
Bullshit included, I'm like, yeah, this was a good experience. I don't know, just in the thick of it right now. You guys need to get like 10 more hours. I'm gonna bitch about stuff.
I mean, that's my plan tomorrow. I'm gonna play a lot more of it. So
I'll probably do it over the course of this week. So
yeah.
Next weekend we're gonna have a fucking sesh. It's sesh.
It's a hard game to talk about without spoiling things because it's so story heavy, and it's more of like you gotta just see it. You gotta see it.
Sometimes
and experience
it isn't. Sometimes it's just a lot of walking around and getting to different story parts. Like, I feel there are, like, gaps in between, like, big events. Sort of. Sometimes it felt like. But, for me, at least, I don't want to say things because it's, like, there are different, like, parts in the game that I want people to go into and play it and, like, for the first time. Like, even if it's just a location or certain things, like, there's so much shit. I was maybe like, oh, when that happened, did you go here yet? But, fuck. There's like a big part that I was just playing, not like just, it was earlier today. I would say it's about, it was about 11, 12 hours in. There's some big story shit, and it's some big major shit,
it's some big fucking shit, man.
It's some breaking news. It's some big fucking shit that I'm sure. What else I can say?
I'm sure.
I don't want to ruin this game because it's been a while since we've had a game that's like this.
Yes,
I don't want to fucking do anything.
It really has been to me. Like I'm just totally ready to play something like this.
I mean,
I'm putting everything.
It's
aside.
probably the last game I can think of was probably Uncharted.
Yeah, maybe. The games that came out last year, like Breath of the Wild and Mario, are like different. They weren't this kind of game.
I think there's certain things in in Breath of the Wild that you got to see it to really. You don't want to spoil it for anybody, but not as much as say like an Uncharted or this game. But the other game to me from last year that stands out.
Horizon is probably the other one.
Horizon is another really good one to me, but to me the one from last year that I'm like, you really can't say anything about it for anyone that's playing through it or hasn't is Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah,
there's so much fucking shit that goes down that game that it's just like if you're spoiled, it's ruined. Because when it first initially happens, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah. I know exactly the part you're talking about. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, this just happened.
Yeah. And actually, one other one to me is Nier Automata. There's a lot of things that go down Nier Automata that's just like, why? Like, I can't believe that just happened. That's crazy. Yeah.
Right.
But I feel like,
I think this is gonna be fun fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really just fucking gearing up for the second half because that's when a lot of shit has got to happen. Because it's been like a slow build up to things. How far are both of you? Like, what's the last thing you've done?
Okay, the last thing. Okay, so this is probably because I said I'm only like maybe 3 hours in.
Minor spoilers for anyone that's listening.
Last thing I did was the stuff with like the cannibals really early on. When you go in, you lift up a gate and and all these dudes show up.
So you've done the big part at the beginning.
Yeah.
You fought that guy. You fought him.
Yeah.
Did you?
What big guy?
No. I know what you're talking about.
There's a big fight.
Yeah.
With a big dude.
Not a
no.
dude.
The other one.
There's a fight.
With a human looking dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fucking cool. That was awesome. That was adrenaline. And then it's kind of like you go back to just doing some stuff. And I kind of want like a lot of these things. One thing I hope that this God of War isn't is just like, hey, I'm going to kill all the fucking gods. Because that's what that's what the 3 games were. I know it's kind of going to be what it is, but it's
I'm okay with some of that.
I want like more,
like
not just black and white stuff, but more in the gray. Like,
well, maybe Atreus is that gray.
He could be, yeah.
You know, down the road. I don't know.
He could be.
I mean, I want to fucking kill him.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying. There's the first boss fight is what we saw at E3 when this game was first revealed.
Yeah,
against some big fucking troll, dude.
Yeah,
not really a spoiler. The second boss fight is what we're all talking about right now, and I fucking agree with you. I had this much health left, and my balls were just fucking going. I'm like, holy shit! And I had this much health left, and he had this much health left, and I somehow got him. And I'm like, damn! And that fight kept going and going and going.
That fight went on for forever. I didn't have as much difficulty because I figured out kind of quickly like how to sort of stun lock him in a lot of ways and just how to just get through him. But I like just everything about the fight.
But then like in between each section, those like cutscenes sort of were just like, this is like old school fucking bash your head against the fucking rock from first person camera perspective. Like, it was fucking some of the most brutal shit you'll see in a video game. Yeah. And it just kept going. I was like, wow, this is good. This is really good. And I like the story aspects of that fight too. Like, there's all these questions popping up in my head at least. I'm like, what is this? Like, what's happening?
Like, who is this? What's happening?
The way the game starts off, and then that boss fight, it's just, I want backstory. Like, I want to know what's going on. Like, how did his wife, Kratos' wife, die? Like, she's dead at the start of the game. That's like this,
it's not spoiler at all. But
like, I don't know. I still want to like know more about that. Mm-hmm. You know, like you learn about her a little bit throughout the game, or not? Maybe, I don't know. But
like how diplomatic, or not? I mean,
like, I don't know. It's just like at the beginning of the game, I remember like what happened here. Like I want a flashback soon, or like. And they don't do that. I kind of like that.
Well, what I
mean, I would assume there's not a flashback because then you'd have to cut away from the singular camera. Yeah. Unless they do some weird like crossfade shit. Where
I mean, like before the game starts, like there's this flashback of like, oh, and this happened, and it's kind of like fill in the blanks of like when he left Greece. I kind of wanted something like really to explain a lot more, but then at the same time, I kind of liked that there were all these questions.
Yeah.
One thing,
dude, sequel.
Probably is going to be a sequel.
I mean, Corey said he thought of this as more than just one game.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
fucking Corey.
The one thing that I like about the beginning of this game though is like every God of War just starts off with a goddamn bang. All of them.
Yeah, the first game's the Hydra, the second game's the Colossus of Rhodes, and the third game is fucking Poseidon.
Yes,
which is one of the best boss fights.
Ascension starts off with a bang. I want to say even the PSP game starts off with a bang, and that's cool. But this one doesn't. This one's just like we're doing something different, and then they get to that bang. Like I feel like if this game was made 4 years ago, that boss fight there would have been the fucking starting point. You know, so. It is a different way of thinking about God of War, and I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm excited to play a lot more of it, man. I mean, I just want fucking everything to get out of my way. Just play this game right now.
Yeah.
Because I just want to experience it. Anyways, let's have a chat about Call of Duty Black Ops 4. For some interesting reasons.
Not surprising, necessarily. But interesting.
Right. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 might not have a single-player campaign. Instead, what it might have is a Battle Royale mode and enhanced multiplayer in Zombies mode, and that's it. And maybe some like co-op sort of things. That's another thing I heard. So this comes from Polygon that's reporting that Call of Duty won't have a single-player campaign because they realized it's not up to snuff, and to get it there, they will not be able to hit their release date. So they're shifting and putting all of those resources going into the campaign into everything else.
Which, I mean...
For good and bad.
I mean, granted, that is the most popular stuff, Yes. But I think... In which I know there are people who are like, yeah, who cares? Who cares about the Call of Duty story? But I feel like even if it's not the greatest thing ever, it's a nice context for the rest of the game in a lot of ways, the story. Like, it's not the greatest thing ever, but it's like it's just a nice, like, extra thing. That's usually, for the most part, with the exception of a few games here or there, Ghost, Black Ops 3, whatnot, they're usually pretty good, like the stories. I just hope, because I heard that sometimes like, oh yeah, we're gonna rush and we're gonna put a battle royale mode. And it's like, oh, you're gonna try to force a battle royale mode in like just a couple of months.
I don't know about that.
And apparently, even I heard a thing that they're having trouble getting 100 people into this battle royale mode for their game, and it's like,
yeah, I think it's weird because there is a, and granted, it might not be the largest portion of the Call of Duty fan base, but there's a decent amount of people that just buy Call of Duties to play the campaigns because that's what they like.
Yeah.
And I know I thoroughly enjoy playing through them, whether they're good or not. Like, I didn't really enjoy World War II's. Black Ops 3 sucked. Ghost sucked. So maybe they've been a little bit more of a miss than a hit as of late. But I think that there's still potential there. Like, Infinite Warfare was amazing. I love that campaign. So that stinks. But at the same time, Black Ops 3's campaign was just a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of people who worked on that. I'm not trying to be a dick. But that game's story was a goddamn mess.
It was.
It really fucking was.
Like,
and
it was Black Ops in name.
That's literally it.
They had one reference to Black Ops 2.
And it sounds like this game's kind of going to be the same if there's not going to have a campaign to it.
Yeah.
It's going to be Black Ops in name, and that's it.
Yeah.
And so I can see that. I can also understand from a business perspective of we make these campaigns, but most of the people that stick around just play multiplayer zombies. Yeah. So what are we wasting our time doing? It's creating all these sequences that just take forever that people are only going to see once, and the smallest percentage of those people see them that buy our game. I understand that. I truly do. And then on the flip side of that, it is exciting of like, potentially exciting of like, we're putting a lot more time to make multiplayer maybe better or different, and maybe make this Battle Royale mode if we can do it, and maybe make zombies even better than before. That it's good and bad. Like I don't know how to truly feel about it.
Could be saving us from like a bad campaign.
Yeah,
it could be because I mean, yeah.
Why make it if it's going to be bad? When you could just pivot and make the other things better.
I heard something else about the multiplayer. I'm not sure if you're going to talk about that. If you're going to get to that next.
Yeah, the whole Overwatch thing.
Yeah.
I did read that, but I think the one thing before we get to this that I would say about Call of Duty with a Battle Royale is that thought sort of excites me because you have Call of Duty that plays fucking buttery smooth all the time.
Yeah.
As a Battle Royale, wow. That could be interesting. Call of Duty, a Battle Royale.
First person Battle Royale. I know you can go first person in PUBG, but like you have to play first person.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
In a Battle Royale with the massive money resources that Call of Duty has.
Yeah. Like Activision behind it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It is a little bit short notice. Even though the
game's
probably not coming out till whenever. It's not like they've been putting their full attention to make this the best thing that they can from the beginning. It's just kind of like it became this. That's never really a good thing.
I think
it's never good when a game's production is like mixed up like that.
It's going to be weird and it's going to suck because you're going to pay money for it. But I think it'll be similar to kind of the Fortnite strategy of put something out and then just repeatedly update it.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing that they're gonna have to do if they want that mode to do they can't, which they're going to do. You can't lock updates for the Battle Royale mode behind DLC. You have to just update the Battle Royale mode.
That.
Like if you lock that stuff, be like, oh yeah, if you want to get the new weapons or new map or things like that, you gotta get the Seasons Pass. Yeah. Then you're gonna fucking piss everybody off.
It's a different way that Call of Duty needs to think about monetization that I feel like they're probably going to fuck up because they don't want to.
Oh, probably. More likely than not.
And also, I feel like it would be a really hard thing for them to, if they're going to have a Battle Royale mode in this game, then have one in the next game, it's going to be hard for them to reset all the time.
Yeah.
You know? Like, Battle Royale is just something that I feel you need to have and constantly update and make it better.
What if
and have events? And
what if that's the future business model for Treyarch? They just boom, Black Ops 4 kind of the multiplayer kind of keeps going, and boom, Battle Royale, and that's like their thing. That's their thing now. Maybe the other Call of Duty games don't have it.
Yeah,
and they just go, who knows?
They would really be putting themselves into a hole with that. It's kind of all or nothing that they wouldn't be able to really. They could still do a campaign, but it's like that's got to be their main focus because. Like, Fortnite is huge. And, Battlegrounds is still huge. It's like... I don't know. It's just nothing about this really feels like I have a lot of confidence in it. Like, I don't know. It seems like this kind of thing they're doing on a whim a little bit. Like, they have the resources, but that doesn't always mean, like, it's going to be good, you know? Just kind of throwing resources at something, and it's like, okay, well, we're changing this mid-production. I don't know. It's not a great... I wasn't going to fucking buy... Black Ops 4 anyway. I haven't bought a Call of Duty game in a while. I was thinking about getting Infinite Warfare. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about getting that. Like, was that 8 years after it came out now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a couple.
Or something. Yeah.
Think about getting one.
Get Black Ops 3.
Get Black Ops 3 so we can play zombies together. Yeah. So the three of us can play Zan.
I might do it, dude. For Xbox, right?
Xbox.
How much is Black Ops 3 now?
Black Ops 3 right now, I think which granted, I think for everything, it's either $30 for the regular game, and then it's
the campaign kind of fucking sucks. Though,
but yeah, but the one thing about it is that it's a bit of an investment because then you have to get the DLC, which is I think it's $40, and then the Zombies DLC is $30, where you get almost all the maps from World of War and Black Ops 1, and then one map from Black Ops 2.
Does Infinite Warfare ever Zombies mode? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that one just not as good?
I mean, it's fun. It's fun.
We just didn't play it.
We just didn't get the Seasons Pass or whatever for it, so we just didn't end up doing that one. But
Black Ops 3, so good on the zombies end at least. The other thing about Black Ops 4 is that the multiplayer is rumored to be more like Overwatch. And that they are reworking it.
Is that like this, or is that a different thing we're talking about?
Still that one.
Okay, different thing. Okay, just making sure so I don't mark anything down.
So I feel like this is a push they've been trying to make.
Because Black Ops 3 kind of had that sort of vibe to it, with like you get powers and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like you have like you charge up an ability, and you still get kill streaks, but it's like, hey, you get ground spikes or a flamethrower.
This is the rumor here. It states that Black Ops 4 is focusing on different heroes with different abilities, a removal of perks, and an emphasis on kill streaks to unleash character-altering skills.
I don't know if that's going to be like Overwatch. It's going to be like Black Ops, like Call of Duty does something. I don't think it's going to be like Overwatch.
I think just because of how Call of Duty plays, and it's more...
It won't be the same.
Yeah,
there'll be influences.
Yes.
But it'll be a different experience. Yeah. Now, I think that's probably the best thing for it, to not be like, we're just going to make an Overwatch clone.
Yeah.
Because look how well that worked out for Paladins.
Worked out pretty well for them, didn't it? They're still around.
Yeah, barely.
I don't know. Are they? I was just making a joke. Are they still around? Is that
now they're ripping off PUBG and Fortnite.
Yeah, good for them.
Literally.
Rip off some other good games next. Make it Horizon Zero Dawn too.
Yeah.
Or God of War. God of War's
yeah.
big. Rip off.
I don't know. They need to come up with something original. They can't just do Battle Royale and then make a game mode that's kind of like Overwatch. They need to do their own thing.
I agree. Call of Duty has been reactionary for a long time when it used to be the fucking trend center.
Yeah.
And it is not. It is
even arguably now, like Battlefield 1 is like people go for that more.
Yeah.
Arguably.
I mean,
it's not like no one plays Call of Duty now, but like, you know.
So, yeah, I feel like the buzz about Call of Duty isn't as much as it used to be. Like, I even think not since probably Ghost was the last one that people talked about a lot, and then that was not necessarily for the best reasons. A lot of people didn't like Ghost, but
I don't really know how this is going to work because there is war mode in World War II, which is neat.
Yeah,
but it has to just because it's Call of Duty, like people don't want to really work together in Call of Duty.
No,
that's not the experience that people want most of the time, and I feel like it's hard to force people to do that way. Whereas Overwatch, that's the mentality from the start. Although you have the lone wolf,
you got the one tricks,
do whatever the hell they want. But I don't know. I like the idea of it. I just don't think the execution is going to be best. It's going to be a weird Call of Duty if all this stuff is true.
I mean, granted, who knows? What if this is the thing that, no, it won't keep. That not keeps them relevant. I'm trying to think what the word is, but keeps them afloat. You know what I mean? Because
I guess, yeah.
Because like you said, they're not really the trendsetters anymore. They don't push the boundaries as much. Like, I don't even know what the next big thing would be in a first-person shooter that Call of Duty could exploit. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know what's next.
Like all the movement stuff came out with Titanfall, and look what they did for that. That didn't work too great for them.
Yeah.
I mean, it happened.
Yeah, it did.
Almost in some ways, Advanced Warfare was better because at least the movement was different.
Yeah.
Even
for sure.
It did not work with physics. Like the physics of that does not work. But I mean, it still was like, oh, this is different. Here we go.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I think this is going to be a weird Call of Duty, and then what I think gets really weird is what happens next year
with Infinity War.
What's going down?
What are they going to do? Fuck, dude.
Yeah, Call of Duty either seems to go in the future or the past anymore.
Yeah.
It would be cool if they did like a modern day kind of thing.
Modern Warfare 4, bring it back.
Kid, why
Who knows? I mean, there is still rumors that Modern Warfare 2 remaster's happening, but it's going to happen without the multiplayer, which is the dumbest thing that I've heard, ever.
Yes.
If anything, just do the multiplayer.
Well, I think that's interesting now that you have a Black Ops mainline Call of Duty that might not have a campaign. Now you're putting out a remaster with just the campaign.
Yeah.
Honestly,
that's how they get you.
Weird.
I also heard it's $25.
Yeah.
They're dropping down to $25. So if the rumors are true.
Honestly, the next thing I could see Call of Duty maybe doing is something in a similar vein as like Destiny. Because World War II had that the player hub and everything, and it's like they could rip off Destiny 2.
I would love. It's never ever going to happen. But what if one of the developers? I don't know which one would do it. What if one of them just bit the bullet and we're just gonna fucking reinvent this and we're gonna make it a great story? I know it's never gonna happen, but it's I would love it if some other game.
Cliff Blazinski comes in
and
makes it Call of Lawbreakers.
I don't know. I just almost feel like that's something that
he's doing Battle Royale. Battle Royale now.
He's doing the
whatever the game is called.
Yeah,
Radical Heights.
Radical Heights.
Not Fortnite.
Radical Heights, which is apparently a good concept. Not great execution.
Yeah, because it's only been in development for 5 months.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm sure it'll be great in like a year or two.
Probably.
According to him, it's doing great. It's doing very well.
It's doing great. People actually are playing it compared to our other game.
Yeah.
we have a player base. Things are looking up.
Yeah, remember?
I think, what did I see? What I heard that
Lawbreakers had literally had 0 players almost, and the game was still like an active thing.
The 24-hour peak on PC for Lawbreakers recently was 9 people, which I don't even think is a full match.
It's not. It's not.
That sucks, though. I mean, if I put all that time into that game, all time and money, and nobody fucking plays it, like, damn.
And he came out and he was talking shit on like the whole genre, like first-person shooters. Like, hey, we need something to like make the genre new again. We need to breathe new life into it, and it's like 9 fucking players.
I also really, really like his one tweet at Epic. Quit trying to hire my team away. Yeah. I really like that. I'm like, there you go.
That's funny.
There you go, Cliffy B.
Yeah.
You tell him.
Do you think Cliffy B's regretting not working in Epic anymore?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, I love Cliffy B though. I love listening to him though. I think he's a fascinating dude to listen to. But I can see why people wouldn't like him. He's definitely got an attitude to him. But gotta appreciate that sometimes.
You should come in and
got
make
that
the next
too.
God of War.
Yeah, you should. Alright. Next thing we're gonna hop over to is just some Overwatch changes.
There's a lot of them.
Some interesting changes are happening. The biggest change, all these are on a public testing server right now. The biggest change is the removal of Hanzo's Scatter Arrow ability, which fired one arrow that split into several on impact. This made him a terror around corners. The new ability, Storm Arrows, has him firing 6 arrows with reduced range in rapid succession. He also gains a horizontal leap he can perform in midair. Good or bad?
I think it's a good thing.
I think it's great.
I think it's a good thing. It makes him a better outside of like I think Scatter Arrow and like his ult was what made him extra really good. Like it would be why maybe he was better than Widowmaker, but now his actual shooting's better than Widowmaker. I would maybe think. Also, the thing about the Storm Arrow is it's weaker than his normal arrow, but they're automatically at the full draw strength. Okay. So it's automatically like goes to full distance.
If you like hit them all in one spot, like under a person, under a bastion, that's like one hit KO. Yeah.
Also, like you have a limited amount of time to hit him. So if you fire one and then you don't fire the rest, okay, boom, you just wasted that ability. You fired one arrow.
I got you. Yeah, it makes it more skill based, which I like.
Which is good.
Yeah, it's a good change. The update also brings with a new escort map, Venice Rialto, which is what's going on in the Retribution event.
Yeah.
So, gonna have a new map soon. Several other characters got some attention too. Most of it is negative.
There's only one person got buffed. That's
Brigette's Shield Bash, Genji's Deflect, Junkrat's Riptire, Tracer's Pulse Bomb all got nerfs, while Lucio's Wall Riding gets some tweaks to make it easier.
Why did Tracer's Pulse Bomb get a nerf?
It's
been that way like forever. It's fine.
They dropped it because you can to make it so that it's not like the one thing that they said was because tanks are really easy to stick a pulse bomb to, and you could just about kill a tank with a pulse bomb by yourself. So now it's like you have to kind of coordinate.
That's kind of the whole point.
But now it's now it has to be more of a coordination thing. Yeah, I know.
I mean, anything that makes it more skill based, I can get behind it.
But then like Genji and Brigitte, they tightened the hit cone on like her shield bash and and his deflect. Like before, you could stand to the side of Genji and he would still reflect your bullets. Now it's literally just what would hit him from the front, which doesn't really hurt him.
That's a good change.
But that's good. And also Brigitte, like now since they kind of tightened her thing up, it's you could accidentally shield bash the wrong person before, depending on if somebody was standing like off to the diagonal from the person. Yeah. So now it's easier to use, yet also easier to dodge.
They should make it so that you can like shield bash teammates. It doesn't do any damage to them. You can just like launch them somewhere.
That'd be. And then Junkrat, the Rip Tire's like a little bit slower now. And
I don't know about
and
that.
They made his grenades a little bit smaller.
I don't know about that either. Junkrat did need tweaks, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think
Junkrat, a good Junkrat is a terror because you can just rack up ult charge. Like he is the best TPS character in the game right now because you can just
counterpoint. A good any hero is a terror.
But I mean, like it's also like yeah. But I mean, also just like he's genuinely the best like DPS character about just putting damage out there and just
Tracer's pretty good too.
Tracer's probably the second best one, and then probably Genji after that. Yeah, but Bastion, you also you're stuck in a spot, and then
I feel like Blizzard's...
mobile #offensive Bastion, mobile Bastion. Yeah.
Well, then you're not putting out as much DPS.
No, you're putting out DPS there, buddy. Yeah.
But it's not the best.
Reinhardt.
I feel like Blizzard does a lot of nerfing. It's never like this character got buffed. It's always this character got nerfed.
Well, I mean, they did. There were 2 buffs to Lucy. Like you said, his wall riding's easier. Now you can go around corners. Like you have to detach from the wall to go around corners. But also whatever his L2 is that you use to knock people off the map, the boop, it does not use ammo now. So you still have a cooldown, but now you can still have your full clip.
Does it have a longer cooldown?
No, it's just now you just have a full clip with your regular attack, so you can do a little bit more damage. Which I mean, so that you can survive a little longer. Sure. And then I guess Horizon Lunar Colony, they tweaked that map a good bit. Like they added more. They changed like how you can get into certain rooms, and they added like a new high ground like in front of the first point for offense, or for defense. I think too. You can just they changed how you're going to get in, how you're going to probably go about attacking that, and then they changed the secondary point. They added trees. For some reason, there's like trees in there. I don't fucking know why.
Right on the moon. Yeah.
I like the second half of that map. I think the first half's always a fucking drag.
Yeah.
They made the first half a little bit like easier. I think. Well, I think they made it like a bit more easily defendable in some ways. I don't know.
Like, everyone just kind of stays in the room, and you try to go into the room, and you just get knocked back until like a Reaper goes in with an ultimate and clears people, and then you go in and you get it.
That doesn't really work now. Now people are probably you can get up there just as easy from the back.
Yeah.
Because they added like a stairway to get up there. Like and they're doing stuff like that. I know they're doing the Symmetra stuff, which should go up sometime, and then hopefully they nerf Moira a little bit. Now, granted, as a Moira main, I'm like, don't touch her, don't touch her. She's great, but at the same time, I'm like, this is a little BS. So
it's fucking fucked up.
Yeah.
Like I think what they should do to keep her balanced would be if you want to do as much like damage she does now, you should have to both use the orb and her like steal ability. If you want to do as much damage as you do with just her like damage attack, I think. I
just think the range on her shit is unbelievable.
I'd be okay with the range if they just brought the damage down. I'd be okay with the range.
My big problem with that is going around corners and still getting like clipped by it. And like I go around a corner, it should be like poof. Like they fuck with Roadhog. You can't corner. Like use your hook around corners. The second like you move around the corner, it's like can't get people, or like you get someone, they move a little bit, it detaches. Like there are so many times where it's like I'm backing off from a fucking Moira because, I low health or I don't know what the fuck I can do. I'm like around the corner and I'm still just getting like tagged here and there, and it's like then she just whoops and like throws a ball in, and it's like fuck, dude, just. And my problem with that is like my big problem I think is that to me to insult everyone that plays Moira in a way. And people that play Symmetra is you're just running after someone holding a button. Yeah. Where it's not like I need to aim. As long as you're generally looking in my direction, you're running at me holding a button, and it's like every time that gets me, I'm like, fuck. I could be better than that person, but they just held a button.
I think the thing is too is that they should maybe make it a little bit more pronounced with her is. Technically, her healing capability is so much better than her, but everybody just does damage. Like, maybe make it so that she, lessen the amount of damage she does. That way, it's like, I should probably use my stuff for healing.
Or get the ability to, like, destroy her orbs. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, like you can. Yeah,
like if someone throws in an orb, you fucking fire it. Like boom, you're done.
Yep.
Like, be smarter next time.
That could be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could agree to that. The only other person I think that would need like a nerf or anything maybe, which is granted that I think they might do because I don't think they need to, is they might nerf Winston's bubble. Because that's like
why?
Because
he hardly has a bubble now. Anyway.
Because like okay.
That's gonna have huge implications on competitive. Because a lot of people fucking.
I can say I think that's the main reason why. Because right now, like Winston Diva, if you don't pick Winston Diva, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? Like that's the comp.
That's
if you're not
tough.
running that comp, but like
because that's a wide range from casual people that play, and then you have to think about competitive people too.
That's also that's. Like,
I want them to make his bubble better, but
that's why like I sit here and I'm like I don't think there's which then again I haven't really looked. Maybe I should before I say something and I sound like an idiot. I don't think that the PTR is not on console, right?
No.
I don't understand why because I think having again console player input being like if you're gonna or have the again I've said this so many times have the console and PC ecosystems. If there's no crossplay, why do they have to be the same? Why is it that why can't?
Because they are two very different
worlds.
Because Widowmaker is good.
Fucking awesome on PC.
Yeah.
Yet console,
Widowmaker is
fucking
a bitch
worthless.
on PC. Yeah. Widowmaker is on a team. I want to back out. Almost. Because I know that's like a fucking dead player, basically.
Basically, I mean, there was that one elimination we were playing the other night on that new capture the flag map, and we were just walking out of our base and BAM! Someone got shot in the head. Just done. It was like, it makes me think of Negan. Yeah. Just like, I'm gonna shut that shit the hell.
It's just I don't understand if why they have to be the same. So I think PTR on console would be great.
Yeah.
Because again, Symmetra, because aiming's a lot easier on PC. Symmetra's not that good on PC. Whereas console, because aiming's a lot harder, you can get away with that.
Yeah,
you might not
hold
die.
a button and run after someone. Yeah.
Whatever.
Hanzo is good on console, but he's like Widowmaker. He's a fucking killer on PC.
Yeah. So now, there'll be some cool stuff. So, yeah. I almost wish they would play, like again, if the PTR came to console, I wish they would play around more. Like, just try weird shit.
Yeah.
Like again, the idea that I always go back to is making McCree's High Noon just like a regular ability and giving him a different ult. I think that'd be awesome.
We should do more like custom games. Because you can set those up to be pretty fun sometimes.
Yeah.
Like different rules and stuff.
We did play competitive elimination.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed. I think it's just a different thing because it's a little bit more strategy because it's lockout elimination. So if you win, and if you do nothing as a character, like if you don't do shit, then it's like fuck, we lost that character, and that's not good.
It's also slightly less stressful to me because if you're playing competitive and you're just getting shut the fuck down.
You're getting shut down for like 8 minutes.
Yes, for a long time, and it's really aggravating. Whereas this, it's like, all right, we got shut down 2 minutes
I hope they
later.
keep this around.
We all get to choose new characters. Yeah. They all get to choose new characters because they have to. Yeah. It's interesting. I like it.
I hope they keep it around. I would almost like it if somehow this kind of occasionally got put into the regular rotation of competitive. Yeah. I mean, it probably wouldn't because it's completely... I highly doubt it too, but I just think it'd be cool.
Because what time it is.
Yeah.
It's 9/11.
Just really quick. I don't want to talk about this too much. I just find this fucking hilarious. This is just another story here. Destiny 2. This just came out. Destiny 2's next expansion will make the climb to max power take longer.
Okay, there you go. I mean, that's good. Also, I heard that fucking exotics are going to be broken in the Crucible, and that sounds amazing. Yeah.
Players will find that hitting the new power cap of 385 will be much tougher than getting the 305 or 335. That leveling will be much slower. One thing we did when Destiny 2 launched was make the climb to the power cap fast and easy for everyone. It didn't matter who you were or what your playstyle was, the road to the cap was quick and accessible for everyone.
More money, more people, more money.
Yeah, basically.
Bungie hopes that the change in Warmind, which is a new expansion, the progression will be more meaningful. Yeah. To that end, the team is making public events less lucrative. Exotic leaks gained from non-weekly sources will drop at the same level as other non-weekly legendary gear, removing their appeal as a way to power up. Clan engrams will help lower level players hit the soft cap of 340, but won't help you achieve 385 that much.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It'll be a cool thing that I'll play for a couple weeks, and then hopefully they get their shit together by September.
I hope they just find that balance, because like I think Taken King was where it's at.
Yeah.
Like it didn't take long to get up to here, but it took a while to get up to here.
Yeah.
To the top. Whereas like when Rise of Iron came out, it was like it took way too fucking long to get there anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now in Destiny 2, it's way too easy to get there. You know what I mean? Like they just go ahead and Taken King. Fuck.
Just figure it out.
Taken King was. I wish we could just play Taken King.
Taken King still might be probably one of the better, like bang for your buck. I feel expansions up there. Maybe, I mean, granted, maybe not as like any of like the
If
Witcher,
you like
the Witcher, also the Witcher DLCs. But I mean, like if that's your kind of game, like if you like Destiny, boom, you're gonna get a lot of bang for your buck out of that.
There's a little bit of Witcher 3 and God of War.
A little bit.
Sometimes.
A little bit.
I saw that on PSN. Totally different topic. I saw the Morrowind expansion for Elder Scrolls Online was like $8. Wow.
Just the expansion or the whole game?
Just the expansion.
Oh, okay.
I think the whole game was like 20 something, maybe like 30 or something like that.
Wow.
I almost want to get it, but then I'm like, fucking hate that game.
So, yeah, fuck that shit.
Like, I don't know.
That's how I felt. I couldn't stand it.
Like I want to like that game.
Yeah.
But it's just
it's not. Yeah.
It's not likable. It's
fun.
like
it's not what I want from.
It's like that person that you know, like that person at work that's just not likable.
Yeah.
That wants to like talk to you and stuff, and you say,
like,
"I don't fucking like you."
Yeah.
It's just boy.
Yeah. Boy.
Away from the boy.
Alright. Let's talk about
Music.
Talk about what?
music.
He said,
There's 3 bands that are confirmed for the Summer Slaughter tour this year.
Fucking Bruce Springfield. Any other 2 bands? Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
John Lennon and Tobey Maguire.
There you go. You heard it here first.
Yeah, I don't need to read these.
Put that fucking down. We don't need this anymore.
I don't need to read these.
Fucking
What's your guess?
Winter Sun too.
Summer Slaughter. Avril Lavigne.
Juicebox Jimmy.
Juicebox Jimmy. Florida Georgia Line. And Robert De Niro.
Special guest spot by Eminem. Not the singer of the Candies.
I mean, my hope would be
the rapper. Why did I say singer?
The singer.
Eminem, the singer.
My hope would be like Arcade Fire, right?
R. Kelly.
Arcade Fire. Arcade Fire's pretty alright.
Arcade
Fire's pretty alright.
Rob Minkle.
Who the fuck is Rob Minkle?
Rob Minkle.
And
I feel like I should know that person.
I don't know, Lil Wayne.
Rob Minkle. Fuck is Rob Minkle?
I think that wasn't that just.
It was one of us slipped up one time
and said Rob Minkle.
I
think this literally happened last weekend. Like literally, I think this literally happened last time we got together.
Me, Rob Minkle.
Rob Minkle is not on Summer Slaughter.
Rob Minkle.
Apparently,
Fish tank.
according to an interview with Ash Avildsen, who is the owner of Sumerian Records,
who's actually going to be on it?
The headliner is Between Baron and Me.
Okay, that's better than.
And the other 2 so far they've been announced on it, or at least from him. Which all these bands are on Sumerian, so go figure. Born of Osiris and Veil of Maya.
Oh wow, they're still around.
Christ.
Fucking hell, man.
But Between Baron and Me, cool.
I feel like I should be in a van.
Also, from that
somewhere.
same exact interview, which I just find this to be an interesting thing here, Periphery have parted ways with Sumerian Records, and they are supposedly going to self-release their next one. Periphery was on Sumerian their whole existence so far. And he had some interesting things to say about Periphery. He said, with Periphery, look, they could tour more. There's other things they could do to make money. This is about the whole story where Misha Mansour, their guitar player, came out and said he makes like no fucking money in Periphery at all. So this isn't a response to that. He said, I write them nice six-figure... I take that back. I write them nice checks every 6 months from their royalties, and they make good money on the road, and they reinvest themselves, and they have side hustles. The drummer does the teacher thing. Everyone is hustling their shit, but fundamentally, they need to have bigger streams and bigger ticket sales and really have the money they want to have. They could, but they don't want to. I look at bands like Tool and A Perfect Circle. Do you think anybody's worried about their credibility? They don't conform to some verse-chorus plug-and-play format. They're incredibly artistic. They're incredibly creative, and they still know, yeah, we have some singles, right? Periphery could be an arena band. They have the Spencer has the voice. Sounds weird when you read it. Spencer has the voice. He could sing. They did great cover of Florence and Machine, which really shows the depth of them if they really wanted to write songs that could get on the radio in a big playlist, but they only write for themselves, period. Most artists will say that. I'm just playing music for myself. And what I want to say is, you can do that at home, but then don't worry about making that a living.
That's... I have conflicting opinions about that.
That's tough.
I mean, he's not...
Interesting.
He's not wrong. But at the same time, that's a very, corporate...
he's the owner of this record company.
Yeah, he's the owner.
Of course he wants them to do better.
Yeah, he's the owner.
Later in that podcast, because I listened to this, it was on the Josh show, he went on about Asking Alexandria, which is the biggest band on Sumerian Records. That band blew the fuck up, and he basically says, I have a nice house because of this band. To sum it up. It's like, of course you want that. Now, if whatever bands you sign, of course you want them to all succeed. That's why you signed them in the first place. You know what I mean? You want them to succeed so that your partnership is still great and you're both making money.
It's
you know?
Yeah, okay, I'll let you finish.
But yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. It's just to put that's also partially at least by my understanding. Being on a record label is also a two-way thing. You write the music, but then it's the record label's job to help you do that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so
they give you creative advice and tell you hey, I think we should put that single out first. That'll have the most pop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it sounds like he's almost throwing them under the bus. He's like, oh, well, you're not making any money. That's on you. It's like, well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how to feel about all that. On one hand, yeah, he's right, because, if you really, really want to make a lot of money, that's what you got to do. You got to write songs that are going to get a lot of plays and things like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, a lot of other bands make a good bit of money just writing what they want to write. You think of all kinds of other metal bands who do that thing.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I think about the two bands that you mentioned, Tool and A Perfect Circle, and I mean, they're just writing what they want to write. I think that some of their songs happen to catch on a little bit more.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's not wrong. Periphery should be, and they are a pretty decent sized band, but they should be way bigger than what they are because they have those hooks in their songs. They just write some very weird shit sometimes, but they could totally just tone it back and write those one or two songs that are still Periphery but are more straightforward and launch them on the radio. Yeah,
that sounds very accessible.
Yeah, and Scarlet. Scarlet's another one to me.
God bless.
Yeah,
thank you.
And I listened to them. I remember listening to them when Periphery 2 came out, their second album in 2012, I think, and I'm like, fuck, this album is great. Periphery's going places, and they're probably going to get on the radio, and they're going to be huge. And they started to open up for Dream Theater and Deftones and massive fucking tours. And they just they still draw hundreds of people every night, but not to where I feel they could definitely be.
It's kind of got a little big and then just sort of stayed there.
Yeah, they've kind of plateaued.
Yeah,
a little bit. So he's not wrong about that either. He also had some things to say about Misha Mansour. He said, it doesn't matter because it's coming from me, and no matter what, I'm the label guy. To Misha, I always will be. Oh, that's Ash. He's Hollywood. He's the label guy. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it the way I get it, and Misha doesn't get it the way that I get it. We can agree to disagree. I'm comfortable saying that I wish them the best. Like, if they're going to release their self-release their next record, that's what they told me. I don't think I don't think this is me in the whiskey backstage with animosity. I'm telling you right now on the podcast, Misha, I love you guys. Unless you write bona fide fucking hits and you're rolling to radio, I don't believe your new record will sell more than what you've done in Sumerian, because I have pride in what we do. Now, I know the value we bring to any band, especially a band like that, with everything we do to promote and market and creative. So he's basically saying, good luck. You're not going to do better than I gave you. Which I feel, of course, he would kind of say that, but it's an interesting thing. It really is.
Yeah, I mean,
because he later in the show too, listening to it, he brought up the whole thing about how there's a stigma around record companies and that they always fuck up things for the artist. Sometimes that does happen.
Yeah,
but he says at least for Sumerian, like. In as a whole, record companies try to be there to more for creative advice and obviously to fund the recording and stuff like that, because and I get that too. Like, you might be writing the songs, and of course you're going to think that every song's probably fucking great, but someone from an outside perspective might go like, damn, listen to those songs, these three pop, and they should be your singles at a time. You know, there's that too. It's an interesting chat for sure. I mean, Sumerian has this weird stigma around them, I think, especially to me. Like, they fucking piss me off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this
is probably the only time we're really gonna be talking about Sumerian records, because I fucking 3+-year-old video copyright strike. Fuck you, man. What the hell? Anyways. Yeah, so that's that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rivers of Nile. Alter Beast and Inferior are going to be touring together.
Oh.
That's pretty cool. Rivers of Nile and Alter Beast are pretty fucking cool. Deaf Heaven announced a tour with Drab Majesty in Uniform. Never heard of them, but their new album, Ordinary Corrupt Human Love, comes out July 13th. I believe they have a new song out too, Honeycomb.
Yeah, they do. I haven't listened to it yet.
Yeah,
I kind of want to. I want to give these guys a shot.
Yeah. 2 surprise releases just dropped.
Me last night
on 420.
Afterwards.
Cancer Bats put out their new album, The Spark That Moves, last night, out of nowhere. And I think this one takes the cake to me. There's a band called Sleep. They are a stoner band / doom band. They've been around for a while. A lot of people love them. I just never really listened to them. But for example, their last album was 2003. And it was called Dope Smoker. So, what do you think they did yesterday?
Smoke dope.
They put out an album.
They dropped their new album, The Sciences. And
Hell yeah.
Track number 1, The Sciences. Number 2, Marijuana Knots Theme. Number 3, Sonic Titan.
What?
3, 4, Antarcticans Thawed. 5, Giza Butler. And 6, The Botanist. So there you go. If you listen to that new Sleep album, smoke it up.
Yeah, we missed 420 and
we did.
We missed April 18th. It's Anal Sex Day.
Yeah. Also, it was.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Also, it was the day the Tilted was supposed to get blown up. And it didn't happen. So we got till the end of the month.
Tilted.
I think that is it.
It's like, obviously not.
Video.
You know that there's old ass computer sounds when shit was loading and it make that weird sound? I feel like we should just put that sound effect in the video.
Yeah.
Right there.
I guess the only other music news item, which this is more of just a positive, really good thing, is that the Ghost Inside had their first band practice since that fucking awful bus crash a few years ago, which really, really sidelined them. All right. 2015. November 2015 that was. Wow.
It's a big time sale, right?
Yeah. Their drummers
after that awful bus crash. All right.
No, I meant the back.
I know, but it was just weird timing.
Sorry,
but
I didn't mean to do all weird timing.
Their drummer had to have
his leg removed.
Yeah, and he's back playing drums, and I think it's great. I really hope these guys can at least make new music. I mean, I'm sure it would be very tough for them, at least, to still get back on the road eventually, maybe. But I would love if they hey man, we're back as a band. Here's a new single or something like that. I think that'd be.
The guy from Def Leppard's missing a limb, right?
He's missing an arm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Arm, leg, same thing.
Yeah. Definitely the same thing. Definitely the same thing. All right.
Yeah, you know.
New jams. There's some interesting shit out this week.
Fingers, toes,
Blackstone Cherry with Family Tree.
Oh, this fucking band.
Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking rock band.
Yeah, I've not listened to this.
I remember Jet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And their 2 songs.
You remember, what was that other band?
You mean one song and the song that they ripped off?
Yeah.
What was that one song? Buck Cherry or something like that? Is that a band?
Buck Cherry's a band.
Yeah, what the fuck happened to them?
I don't know.
What happened to Puddle of Mud?
Wes Scanlon or whatever his name is. He's just a fucking dickwad. And
who is that?
That's their singer.
Oh.
I don't know if they've really put new music out, but they played the Chameleon Club not too long ago.
Wes fucking, what's his nuts?
Also on the Buck Cherry thing.
Fuck Cherry.
They got all lit up. And that's why they're not around.
Do you think they got lit up yesterday?
Probably.
Yeah.
On the couch.
In my
bed.
Yes, I'm all lit up again.
Oh yeah.
Not the cocaine or not the cocaine.
Yeah, that singer looks like he should be moving some fucking crack rocks under an underpass. Like looking out of a shopping cart. He probably did.
Hey kids, you want to buy some charity?
The fucking look of him. Jesus Christ. No, he does look really skinny and I don't know, he's a rock star, so he's done drugs and shit.
Yeah.
Am I saying anything that's not... allegedly. I'm joking.
You can say whatever you want as long as you say allegedly.
What's that word?
It's a prank, bro. It's a prank.
I'll think of it.
It's a prank, bro. It's a prank.
Yeah. Alright. Next up, Gus G with his new album, Fearless.
Rock?
Shred rock, I guess. I don't know. Gus G.
You can't shred
who is
rock.
the man for Ozzy Osbourne for a little bit. He was also in Firewind.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't know if he's still in Firewind or not. Anyways, Melvins with Pinkest Abortion Technician.
Punk rock, right?
Yeah.
Melvins.
Whatever the Melvins are.
Yeah, Melvins are like punk rock, yeah.
A Perfect Circle with Eat the Elephant.
Rock?
Yeah, rock, alternative. Yeah, this is Maynard Keene's other band. Perfect Circle's been around for a while. I never listened to them, but I'm like, hey, they have a new album here. Checked it out. I thoroughly fucking enjoyed it.
Well, yeah, a lot like
Tool. A sort of a softer Tool, I guess. A little bit less progressive, but a little bit more.
I don't know why they didn't just do Tool 2 or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I want to listen to it more. Tesseract with Sonder.
Progressive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, right. And
Do they still have a singer or no?
They do. And it's, what's nuts? Dan something.
Aykroyd?
Yeah.
Who are you going to call?
Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, to me, I listened to this album once. To me, this one is more like their album 1, it's called, from a few years ago. The album that basically blew this band up.
Metallica.
There's some good fucking shit on here.
What's the one song? Because I know it was in the top 15 at the radio
Luminary?
station. Yeah, that's
a good song.
That was one that was on the radio station for a while.
I like it. Abolishment of Flesh with the Inhuman Condition.
Death metal.
Fuck yeah.
There's no way.
Bullet with Dust to Gold.
Bullet.
Not Bullet for...
Hardcore.
Heavy metal.
Oh, yeah.
From Ashes to New with The Future.
They're
That sounds
fucking
like metalcore.
Yeah, they're like, don't they have metalcore or something?
Yeah, rock, right now.
Lancaster or something or other.
Yeah. Lancaster Homes.
Lancaster something or other.
Yeah. From Beyond with the band From Beyond.
From Beyond. Ooh, Chris Benoit metal.
Yeah.
Progressive.
Stoner.
Damn.
Because he's from Beyond.
Pennywise
Back from the dead.
with Never Gonna Die.
Punk rock.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, Pennywise. Yeah, Pennywise. That they had that bro hymn.
Yeah. Ross the Boss with By Blood Sworn. Ross McCauley.
Yeah. Yeah.
Power Metal.
Ross the Boss. Fuck right.
Sense of Fear with As the Ages Passing By.
Psychedelic.
Heavy Metal. Striper with Goddamn Evil.
Fucking Christian metal.
Yeah.
Striper.
Fucking Striper.
Is that a fish?
Yeah, but
I'm just waiting for the jokes to come in for this one. Wild Hunt with After Dream of the Reveler.
Wild cunt.
is it like power metal?
Progressive Doom.
Ooh.
The Wild Hunt is like, I think, a mythological thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Or it's mythology or something.
It is. Tis.
I was just waiting for it. Witcher Metal.
No, I went with Wild cunt.
No.
Harry cunt.
Alright.
Yeah, that's how it...
Ending.
See you later.
Boom, demonetized.
Yeah, that's one of the things that a bunch of people learned from like the radio station. That's the one word that you that's the one word that you definitely can't say on the radio. Because cunt. Because somebody will always get offended.
Sorry.
What if your name was Mike Hunt? Can you say... Can you say that?
What about Mike Hawk?
I don't know
Mike
about
Hawk.
that one.
That's a dumb name. What about Rob Minkle?
Nothing wrong, Rob. Fuck. Nothing wrong.
Rob Minko, alright there, Scooby Doo.
Alright, fuck all this.
All right.
See you later.
You got it.
You're closer, you get it.
Alright. Harry cunt.